This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Friday, August 16. So glad you can join us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Close to 200 sanitation workers today voted via secret ballot on a controversial proposed change in workdays. Government and workers have been at odds over a move to shift workers from a Monday to Friday work week to working any 5 days out of a 7-day work week. Speaking to reporters following a meeting which was also attended by the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations of Barbados, NUPW President Akani McDowell explained that when the votes are tallied in the presence of a union committee, the option with the most votes would be the NUPW's mandate going forward.
The purpose of this meeting was to break the dialogue between, as I said previously, between government and the SSA workers. The government's position was clear that they had a limited number of trucks and therefore they were requiring workers, the SSA workers, to work on weekends. The workers at SSA were saying to us that they were only willing to work from Monday to Friday. And therefore there was a dialogue between the government and the SSA workers.
Meanwhile, NUPW Acting General Secretary Delcia Burke played down fears from workers that there could be job cuts. She told reporters this was very unlikely.
The government has always, when they were discussing the layoffs, sanitation was never ever mentioned as one of the institutions where layoffs would happen. And to date, even though the layoffs have come to an end, we have not had one sanitation worker sent home. I think some persons might be a little anxious because they believe if they don't do what the government wants, that is what is going to happen. But as it stands now, sanitation is short of staff because persons who have retired or who have left the institution have not been replaced. So right now they are short of staff. So I have my doubts that anybody will be saying.
Government's plans to roll out the new Barbados Youth Advance Corps gets the thumbs up from a top judicial official. Registrar of the Barbados Supreme Court, Barbara Cook-Aline, has fully endorsed the move, saying young people stand to benefit tremendously from the program, which will provide training and development in key areas including technology, agriculture, robotics, and construction.
It's a great initiative to increase the amount of persons who will benefit from the youth service, and the program seems to be more diverse as it was before. The topics they're looking at are vital for our young people. I saw conflict resolution is one of the things that the PM talked about, which is needed among our young people to resolve their conflict in other ways other than by violence. So having that as part of the criteria, well, the program and syllabus would be excellent for our young people. Budgeting is also in there as well. Financial budgeting is something that is not done naturally. You learn it as you go along, and you might fail if you do it on your own. But having the assistant through the youth program is dynamic. The age group she's actually targeting, 16 to 23, is also a good age group to target as well. To have most of our young people between that age are causing us some concern, respect of the violence in the community. So I am really pleased at the initiative that is being taken by the government.
Education Minister Santia Bradshaw says renovations and repairs at some 41 schools are continuing in earnest and are in fact on track. She, however, reiterated that the opening of some schools will be delayed, but assured all necessary steps have been taken to ensure both teachers and students can return to improved settings.
We are ahead of schedule on most of them. There are a few that we have had to also engage additional persons to provide oversight because the ministry did not have enough resources internally to be able to provide the oversight over the number of schools. I think we have about 40 schools this year that we have basically targeted, and in previous years it was like around 16. So we have tried to tap in as much as possible to do a little bit more than was done in previous years, but to try to settle the school environment in a way that we can now start to talk about a lot of the other transformational issues in education that are on the agenda.
Bradshaw added that she will be meeting with the unions representing teachers soon to walk through those schools that won't be ready for the September start date. She says relocation plans are being finalized.
In the next week, we're going to have some meetings with the unions as well to do a walkthrough and to look at the sites that are likely to present some problems with the opening of the school term, because I believe that unlike in previous years where the unions were not involved in the discussions, we've actually shared with them, a schedule of what we have prioritized, but we also intend to work with them to go in to see what we have done, and to be able to let them know, to inform their base as well in terms of any challenges that we're going to have for the start of the school term. But we are working on relocation, and the public will be made aware in due course. But we're monitoring it. We're monitoring it.
Calypso monarch William Classic Wave collected his cash prize for winning this year's courtesy Pick of the Crop finals. He opted for the $100,000 over a Nissan X-Trail. The happy monarch reflected on the festival, sharing that he was pleased with the one-song format, but suggested that the Pick of the Crop semi-final should return.
I like what I've seen this year in terms of the one-song concept, and I think moving forward we can build on that and make the Pick of the Crop and the social commentary a little more exciting. And I think that going forward, that's my style, my way. I like to write songs that can hold the audience and entertain at the same time. So I believe that once we put in the work, that the crowd will continue to support the art form.
What about the lack of a semi-final? Do you think they should have a semi-final?
Yes, I would like to see a semi-final again. I believe that it will add another layer in terms of filtering, in terms of getting a better finals. I think if you have a semi-final, then you can eliminate even further and look for a better crop of people for the finals. But I understand it was a financial issue, so they were cutting costs so they can spend more money in the finals. So from that perspective, I understand I can concede there. But I would like to see a semi-final going forward. But if it's a factor of money, well, we guess we'll have to understand that.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, embattled former government minister Marlene McDonald declares she will be vindicated. The ex-public administration minister in Trinidad is currently on bail for multiple charges, including corruption. But while McDonald seems confident she will be exonerated, her attorney is much more cautious. More in this report from TV6 News.
After a full week in police custody, 4 days of which were spent at hospital, fired government minister Marlene McDonald left St. Clair Medical in high spirits. And in the face of damning allegations, Ms. McDonald says she's awaiting her day in court.
I will be vindicated. I'll have my day in court.
But while Ms. McDonald seemed confident of a victory, her attorney is much more cautious.
That would be premature. We have to wait to see what evidence the DPP would be producing to the court. But they are serious offenses.
Ms. McDonald visited the Port of Spain Magistrates Court this evening, where she secured a $2 million bail. But although she secured bail, she will not be going home just yet.
Ms. McDonald was taken to the Magistrates Court where her bail was processed, and she was returned to St. Clair, where at the time of speaking, she is still a patient.
Ms. Alder could not say what is Ms. McDonald's medical state.
Further afield, riot police in Zimbabwe's capital Harare have fired tear gas and beaten demonstrators during a crackdown on opposition supporters who have taken to the streets despite a ban on protests. Scores of people gathered at Africa Unity Square to demonstrate against a worsening economic situation in defiance of the ban, which was upheld by a court on Friday.
Leaders in the opposition had gone to court to try to overturn the police ban, but the judge said that there was no case. But people had already started assembling here at this park in the city centre, ready to protest. When riot police started moving, they refused to leave. Riot police then descended on them and beat some of them. And here is one of the men who was beaten in the protest.
This is my hands. Look at it. Get it? This is my back. We were just standing, doing nothing, waiting for him to come. But of which, why did they come from another corner saying lay down, for what reason? Nothing to break. 0-0. Why are we being beaten? They want to create what can we say, so that it should be like there is a problem in Zimbabwe. We're not doing any problem.
He is just one of several people who we saw being beaten by police during the protest. The police say the reason why they banned the protest is because they had information that some of the opposition supporters were armed. They say that some people had stashed rocks in some parts of the city that they were going to plan to use to destroy windows and loot some of the shops. Opposition leaders deny all this.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper email updates or like us on Facebook and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Do have a wonderful weekend.